Hey everyone, welcome back. If you're looking to seriously level up your everyday English fluency, well, you're in exactly the right place. Today's explainer is all about how verbs with look actually work, and we're bringing in a ton of real-world examples to show you. You know, look is literally one of the most common verbs we have in English. But here's the secret. It is so much more than just using your eyes. It is an absolute game changer for sounding natural. We're going to break down 12 essential combinations today that will completely transform how you speak and understand the language. Let's get into it.
Okay, so before we jump into our list, we kind of need to look at the mechanics, right? What are we actually dealing with? We're talking about phrasal verbs. Basically, this is what happens when you take a base verb, in our case, look, and you glue a tiny word to it, like an adverb or a preposition. And when you snap those pieces together, boom, you get a completely new, totally unique meaning. You're not just, seeing something anymore. Suddenly you might be investigating a crime or taking care of a kid or getting super excited about the future. Honestly, it's like a linguistic magic trick.
So, to make these super easy to remember, we've broken this explainer down into a logical roadmap. We'll cover more than just seeing, search and exploration, attention, checking, and time, people and relationships, and finally, practice for your confidence.
All right, part one. More than just seeing.
You might be wondering, why does this really matter? Well, it's because native speakers use these expressions constantly, like all the time. In casual conversation, we rarely use stiff, formal vocabulary. We lean heavily on phrasal verbs. Mastering these specific combinations is your absolute fast track to sounding less like a textbook and way more natural. It's what bridges the gap between just speaking English and truly connecting with people.
Moving on to part two, search and exploration. Okay, our first one is just incredibly common. Look for. This simply means to try to find something. Picture this, you're running late for work, you're frantically digging through your pockets, checking under the couch cushions, and you're just like, where are they? I'm looking for my keys. You're going to use this one anytime you misplace a physical object and just need to locate the thing.
But hey, what if you aren't searching for a physical object? What if you need facts? Well, that's exactly where look up comes in. This one specifically applies to searching for information, like in a reference source. You don't look for a word's definition, you look it up in a dictionary. Nowadays, we're constantly looking things up on the internet, right? Adding that little word up gives it this feeling of, reaching into a higher database or system to pull out an answer.
Now, if your search gets deeper and, a lot more serious, we use look into. This means to investigate or really deeply examine a complex situation. The word into perfectly visualizes diving right beneath the surface to find the hidden truth. For example, the police are looking into the accident. See how that sounds? It implies a thorough, official, deep dive.
Let's lighten the mood a bit with look around. This one is all about casually exploring a place. Imagine you just arrived in a gorgeous new city for vacation. You drop your bags off at the hotel and you tell your friends, hey, let's go look around. It's got this really fun, wandering energy to it. You're just absorbing your environment, checking out what cafes are nearby, just like in our example. We looked around the city before lunch.
So we've totally nailed searching and exploring. But what happens when we need to shift our focus to, say, immediate danger? Or review our schedule? Or even time travel in our minds? Let's find out.
Section 3. Attention, checking, and time.
Okay, imagine you're walking down the street with a friend, and suddenly they step right off the sidewalk without checking traffic. You'd instantly yell, "Look out, there's a car coming." Look out is an urgent, immediate safety warning. It basically means be careful and be intensely aware of a sudden hazard right now. It's a phrase that can literally save a life.
Now, what's really interesting here is the subtle nuance between two super similar actions, look over and look through. Both of these involve checking something quickly, but the mental picture is totally different. Look over is a surface-level check. It's kind of like skimming the top of the water. Like, can you look over my homework? Implies you're just checking for obvious spelling mistakes. Look through, on the other hand, implies volume. Saying, I'll look through these documents paints this picture of flipping past multiple pages just to find a specific section.
And this slide brilliantly illustrates how this verb helps us literally time travel. If we want to think about the past, maybe with a little nostalgia, we direct our thoughts behind us and use look back, like she likes to look back on her childhood. But if we shift our gaze to the future with excitement, projecting our attention straight ahead, we just add two tiny words, look forward to. I am looking forward to our vacation. You're literally pointing your positive energy ahead in time. Love that one.
Which brings us to section 4, people and relationships. Our first relationship phrase here is look after. This means to take care of someone or even something. It's a really warm, responsible kind of verb. Think of a babysitter, a nurse, or a loving older sibling. She looks after her younger brother, meaning, she's making sure he's safe, fed, and totally okay. And remember, you can look after things too, like looking after your neighbor's plants while they're on holiday.
This next one, you'll hear it constantly at family gatherings. Look like just means to have the physical appearance of someone or something else. It's how we draw direct visual comparisons. When your aunt says, "Wow, you look like your mother," she just means you share her facial features or maybe her expressions. Super straightforward, but absolutely essential for everyday conversation.
All right, here's the real climax of our list, and it carries a really heavy social meaning. Look down on. Notice how we're stacking two prepositions here, down and on. This means to think someone is less important than you, or you're judging them negatively. I mean, imagine literally looking down from a high balcony at the people below. It creates this real sense of arrogance. As our example wisely points out, you should never look down on other people.
Finally, Section 5. Practice for your confidence. Guys, here is your ultimate cheat sheet. We've grouped the whole shebang into our 3 main buckets: search, time and attention, and people. I highly recommend you actually pause the explainer right here and write these down in these specific categories. Grouping them by concept rather than just doing a boring alphabetical list is scientifically proven to help your brain lock this information in. So the absolutely crucial point here is application. Having the knowledge is great, but speaking is a muscle. The source material for today's explainer emphasizes one huge takeaway. You simply must practice using these phrasal verbs in real conversations. Don't sit around waiting until you feel perfect. Get out there, make mistakes, correct them, and I promise, over time, these phrases are going to become second nature. That is exactly how you build unshakable confidence and true fluency.
Which brings us to our final thought. I challenge you to take just 1 or 2 of these phrases and use them in a sentence today. So tell me, applying one of the exact phrases we just learned, what are you looking forward to practicing today? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep up that incredible focused learning, and I'll catch you next time.